Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I formally declare open this Planning Committee meeting of the Colac Otway Shire on the 10th of March 2026. Opening prayer. Almighty God, we seek your blessing and guidance in our deliberations on behalf of the people of the Colac Otway Shire. Enable this council's decisions to be those that contribute to the true welfare and betterment of our community. Amen. I'd like to start this afternoon by acknowledging the traditional custodians and lawmakers of this land, their elders past and present. Please be advised that this Planning Committee meeting is recorded and live streamed with the exception of confidential matters. This includes the public's participation sections of meetings. The live stream recording of this afternoon's meeting will be available on the website as soon as practicable. By participating in open Planning Committee meetings, individuals consent to the use and disclosure of the information they share at the meeting, including any personal and or sensitive information. I note that all councillors are present. We have no apologies. I move to the confirmation of minutes. I propose that we move to confirm the minutes of the Planning Committee meeting held on the 10th of February 2026. Do I have a mover? Councillor Howard. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Hudgell. The motion before us, councillors, will now put it to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Potter, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dew, Councillor McCricker, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. Carried 7-0. Are there any declarations of interest? I have a declaration of interest on, which one? Planning permit. On 4.3, planning permit 2132025-1. I live in the near vicinity of that property. There's a general conflict. Any other conflicts of interest? No. We'll move on to item 4.1, planning scheme amendment 175 Skeens Creek Road, Skeens Creek. Questions of officers? If there are none, no. We have an officer recommendation in the report. Does anyone wish to move that as the motion? Councillor Howard, is it to be seconded? Councillor Potter. Councillor Howard is the mover. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, the recommendation is very appropriate. This is really just to tidy up so the existing dwelling can be sold, so it's existing use rights, etc. And I think it's very sensible to send it off to the Minister for approval.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Potter, seconder. No? Any other councillor wish to speak? No. A motion before us. Councillors will now put it to a vote. All those in favour. Councillor Potter, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dew, Councillor McCricker, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. Carried 7-0. Thank you, councillors. Move on to item 4.2. Planning permit 1902025-1. 1005 Woolwool Road, Woolwool. Questions of officers? Councillor Potter.
Thanks, Mayor. Just have a question in relation to one of the conditions around water supply and the installation of a tank that can be used for firefighting purposes. Could you just explain what that means and whether there's any sort of enforcement behind that once it's installed? Through
the Mayor. The condition on a planning permit is has to be compliant. A condition on a permit we have to make sure is gets complied with. So under Section 126 of the Planning and Environment Act. So in regards to a water tank, to make sure it's CFA compliant, making sure it's got the connections to it, whilst we don't necessarily enforce those sort of conditions, even though it's part of our requirement, it's onerous, quite onerous on the actual owner of that property or that's doing the development to make sure it is compliant for firefighting purposes. So it kind of brings it back onto them to make sure that they're going to put the connections there for their own safety.
Thank you. Councillor Buchanan.
Thanks, Mayor. Look, my question's on the same subject of a water tank in a farm zone for firefighting purposes. I don't know whether in town water out there or not, but generally if a farmhouse has a tank, it's there for drinking purposes for their own use, not fighting fires. There are other avenues of fighting fires on farms, and that's dams and other local waterways. I just can't understand that being why it would be a regular request that someone puts in a firefighting tank at a house in a farm zone.
It's probably for the house fire. But
Through the Mayor, it's actually a CFA requirement, not a council requirement, but if there's more water, it's obviously got to be better, whether you drink it or use it for firefighting purposes, if there's an emergency, but it is a CFA requirement that's required to be imposed.
it's a CFA requirement, not a council requirement.
So is that a new requirement? I suppose that's my question.
Not through the Mayor, not that I'm aware it's a new requirement, it's just a standard requirement as part of the referral.
Standard requirement. Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thanks, overall. Any other questions? No? There's an officer recommendation in the report. Councillors, does anyone wish to move that as a motion? Councillor Potter, is it to be seconded? Councillor Howard, Councillor Potter is the mover. Thanks.
Thanks, Mayor. Happy to support the recommendation. I really enjoyed reading this report. I think the officers have done a good job covering all the issues, outlining the pros and cons, and then working out how this application can fit within the planning scheme. It did address the fact that this is in a farmland of strategic significance and various other issues. I thought it was well explained. It does highlight the issues that councillors have to wrestle with, as do officers, when we see these sorts of applications in farm zones. But I'm happy to support the recommendation.
Thank you. Councillor Howard is the seconder.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. I'll just comment that it's such a nice place, they named it twice. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillor? No. Rod reply no. Now we have a motion before us. Councillors will now put to a vote. All those in favour, Councillor Potter, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dukes, Councillor McCricker, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. Motion is carried 7-0. We'll move on to item 4.3, which I'll have a conflict of interest. I'll hand over to the Deputy Mayor. Councillor Howard.
Right, we now move to item 4.3, PP 213-2025-1, 180 Harris Road, Eliminate, use and development of the land for a dwelling. The purpose of this report is to consider a planning application for the development of land for a dwelling at 180 Harris Road, Eliminate. Do any councillors wish to ask a question of the officers? Does any councillor wish to move a motion in relation to this item? Councillor Potter, does any council wish to, do I have a seconder for this motion? Councillor McCrickard. Councillor Potter.
Thanks, Deputy Mayor. Yeah, happy to support the recommendation. The officers have asking us to resolve to grant a permit for a dwelling. Great to see another permit for a house in the area. Thanks, officers.
Councillor McCrickard. Any other councillors? No, I'll put it to a vote then. Councillor Potter, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dadoud, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell and Councillor Howard. 6-0. Thank you. You're back now.
Thanks, councillors. We'll now move on to item 4.4. Planning permit 3762022-2, 26 Road Knight Street, Birregurra. Questions of officers? We have an officer recommendation and report. Does anyone wish to move that as the motion? Councillor McCrickard, is it to be seconded? Councillor Hudgell. Councillor McCrickard is the mover. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. No, just good to see the planning that's gone behind this submission, but it's good to see another house being built out at Birregurra. It's terrific for the community. No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Hudgell is the seconder.
Thanks, Mayor. No, just happy to support the officer's recommendation. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other councillor? No. We have a motion before us, councillors. We'll now put it to a vote. All those in favour, Councillor Potter, Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dukes, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. Motion is carried 7-0. Thanks, councillors. We'll now move on to item 4.5, planning permit 2024-2. Sorry, 205 Birregurra Road, Birregurra. Questions of officers. Councillor Howard.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. If the Section 173 agreement was to be removed from the permit and then a subsequent application for a dwelling was for that property, it'd have to go through a planning permit process. Is that correct?
Through the Mayor, yes, that's absolutely correct. You need a permit for a dwelling, which would be considered by council.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Does any councillor wish to move a recommendation in relation to this item? Councillor Howard.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move an alternative recommendation that council resolves to grant an amended permit and remove condition 8 of issued permit PP 206/2024, which states the following. I don't believe I need to read that all out because it's been in the report, or do I?
No, that.
So it's basically that
So you're removing point 8.
Yep, exactly. Condition 8 out of the permit.
No, that should be fine. You got that?
Sorry, just clarifying, are we removing 8 from the recommendation and the permit, or from the permit?
Just from the permit?
Just from the permit. Thank you.
So, Mr Mayor, just to clarify that, my intention is to remove condition 8 from the already issued permit, which is basically removing the Section 173 agreement. Just for clarity, I might read it.
Yeah, Ian. Discuss.
Yeah, sorry, through you, Mayor. Just to clarify, if you do scroll up, it's essentially the same permit conditions as what was in the recommendation in the agenda, but we've so there's condition 8 has been struck through, so we're removing condition 8.
Thank you. So we have an alternative motion. Is it to be seconded? Councillor Hudgell. Councillor Howard is the mover. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. I've taken a long time to deliberate about this because we actually did the approval last April to include the Section 173 agreement on it. But the applicant has come back to ask for it to be removed. So therefore, I think it's, again, that I must make another judgment and assessment. So it's no reflection on the officers or on previous council's decision. It's just another decision's come back. And on reflection, that if someone wants to build a house on that particular block, they've got to go through the process again, and it's got to be based on the merits of the planning scheme. So I'm quite comfortable that the protection is there to see if a house is warranted on that block down the future. And I think, therefore, I think the 173 agreement can be removed without any danger of, going against our planning scheme or former decisions. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Hudgell as the seconder. Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. No, I'd just like to echo Councillor Howard's comments and thank him for bringing this alternative motion forward.
Thanks, Councillor. Any other councillor wish to speak? No, don't want to reply. No, we have a motion before us. Councillors will now put it to a vote. All those in favour? Councillor Buchanan, Councillor Dews, Councillor McCrickard, Councillor Hudgell, Councillor Howard, Councillor Schramm. All those against? Councillor Potter. Motion is carried 6-1. Thanks, councillors. This concludes the Planning Committee meeting of the Colac Otway Shire. I declare this meeting closed at 1:17 p.m.